Hi, and welcome to this in depth walkthrough of VLearnio. I'm going to log in as an administrator first and show you everything an organization staff and instructors can do. And then I'll switch over and show you the exact same platform from a learner's point of view. VLearnio is built for anyone running structured teaching and assessment at scale, a college, a school, a tuition or coaching center, a corporate training team, or even an individual instructor teaching hundreds of students online. Whatever you call your setup, the problem is usually the same. Exams live in one tool, classes happen in another, learner records sit in a spreadsheet, and none of it talks to each other. VLearnio brings all of that into one dashboard, which is what you are looking at right now. Let's go tab by tab, starting with how your team gets set up. So, here you can see your organization name when you log in. The first thing worth setting up properly is who on your team has access to what. This is team management. It's where additional staff roles gets created. Beyond instructors themselves, you can add supervisors or team members who help run the organization's presence on the platform, each with permission scope to their actual role. So as you can see here, ABC is the organization super admin, XYZ is the organization admin. You can also deactivate or activate with the actions. If you want to add an admin, you have to fill out these details. You have to select the role and add them. This looks a little different depending on who's using it. For a college, this might be a department heads or academic coordinators. For a coaching center, it could be branch managers. For a corporate training team, it might be program leads overseeing different cohorts. Either way, not everyone on your side needs or should have the same level of access, and this is where that structure gets defined. Next, the teachers tab. This is where instructor accounts live. Whatever you call that role internally, teacher, tutor, trainer, mentor, or instructor. Accounts can be created individually or via bulk upload if you are onboarding a whole group of instructors at once. Each one gets their own login with access scoped specifically to their own classes and content. So no one instructor isn't seeing or able to edit another's material. So if you want to add a teacher, you can click on this, fill out the details with department, designation, qualification, experience, employee code, and create and send credentials. If you have to bulk upload, you can download the CSV format and upload. This also becomes your single source of truth for who's teaching what. Instead of that information scattered across spreadsheets or someone's memory, every instructor account is reviewable and manageable right here. As you can see over here, teacher 1 details. You can also deactivate and activate with the actions. Now, moving forward to classes and sections. This is where your organization's actual structure gets modeled into the platform. Departments and sections for a college, batches for a coaching center, cohorts for a corporate program, or simply different course groups if you are teaching independently. So you can create a new group, and as you can see, I have created BTech CSE AI ML second year, for example, and have added section A as well with the capacity of 50 students. This comes early in the step because everything else depends on it. Once your groups exist here, every other module, assessments, live classes, analytics can target learners using the structure you already operate by instead of forcing you into some generic system that doesn't match you how you actually run things. You can add members over here. As you can see, student 2 is a member of section A. So you can see there is one student out of 50 over here, for example. Now, moving forward with the Students tab, with your groups in places, there is where learners actually get enrolled. The platform labels their students. but it applies just as well to trainees, batch participants, or an audience you are teaching at scale. You can add people individually, useful for a late sign up or a one off case, or enroll in bulk through a spreadsheet upload. You can you can download the file format and upload the students, as well as you can add the student by fill out these details. This tab also gives administrators a centralized record, a single view of every enrolled learner, their assessment history, and their activity across the platform. So, as you can see, student 1 is inactive, student 2 is active. You can also delete and deactivate the student. You can add the student into some group. For example, I showed you that BTech CSE AIML second year section A student who has enrolled. Whether that record needs to go to a placement officer, a corporate stakeholder, or simply you as an independent instructor checking in on progress. It's a lookup here, not a reconciliation across multiple systems. Now let's move from setup into actual teaching, which is live classrooms. This is one of the modules I want to show you live rather than just describe. As you can see, instructors can schedule and run live sessions with integrated video. You can see all the features over here, all inside the same window. No external meeting link or separate whiteboard tool required, which matters whether you are running one class or teaching several hundred learners across multiple sessions a week. A session can be open to an entire group at once, matching the structure we just set up, or an instructor can add specific individuals. Useful for small tutorials, doubt clearing sessions, or one on one mentoring. While a session is running, instructors have real controls. They can temporarily remove someone's access if there is a disruption and end the session when it wraps up. You can schedule a new class by filling out these details: the start date, end date window, description, topic, subjects. And when you go to the details of live classrooms, so for example, the demo is the currently which I am using and recording. You can see manage members, you can manage members over here, you can edit the classroom, you can go live, reassign the teacher, cancel it. You can have the recordings, as for example, lecture 1 has one recording, and you can also add materials. For example, this document is uploaded by a teacher for the class. This is the screen where I am recording with the live classroom feature as well. You can share the screen over here. You can chat. Let's go back to the dashboard. Now, materials like document slides and reference files are managed independently of whether a class is currently live, so an instructor can upload everything for the week ahead of time as shown. And critically, every session can be recorded, like the one I'm running right now. If somehow someone misses a session, they can watch the recording afterward instead of falling behind, and staff can rename or remove recordings as needed. Now let's move into content. Starting with the coding question bank specifically. Now, as you can see here, we have provided the global question bank already. Your organization maintain its own private repository of coding questions here, used to power coding assessments and coding practice. Relevant whether you are a computer science department, a coding boot camp, a tuition center teaching program, or a company assessing technical hires. You can have your questions ready over here. Keeping this separate from theory and multiple choice content matters because coding questions need a different structure entirely: test cases, expected outputs, and environment to actually run code against, and this tab is purpose built for that. Now, this is the question bank tab. Your organization's repository of multiple choice and subjective and theory questions, completely private to you and separate from any other organization on the platform. Questions can be added manually or, where enabled, generated with AI assistance, which is specifically useful when you are standing up a new course or topic and need a question bank built quickly rather than written from scratch. So you can upload a CSV as well. You can add questions, the category, you can choose the category, you can choose the subcategory, you can type the question. If you have any code snippet, you can paste over here the options and the correct answer as well. So it records the answers of the students who attempt this assignment, who attempts this campaign. Now, and this time, same content doesn't just feed formal exams. It also powers a self-paced, ungraded practice mode for learners, so they can rehearse using real questions from this exact blank bank before ever sitting a trade assessment. Now that we have got the staff, learners, groups, and a question bank all set up, let's actually build an assessment. So, what the platform calls a campaign. So, over here you can see there is create campaign and create coding campaign. If I go in create assessment campaign, here you choose question types, multiple choice, subjective, coding, set a difficulty mix, and define the exact time window during which learners are allowed to attempt. So, here you can also choose the groups, the section, you can add it, you can choose the campaign type, the duration, the number of counts, attempts, time window. Once it's built, you decide who takes it, assign it to an entire group from the structure we set up earlier, or target a specific number of people useful for a retake, a pilot group, or a smaller batch. On the learner side, access is secure. Each person joins using a unique access code. You can see over here, you can type the access code and session are validated before they can begin. I'll actually show you that step in a moment from the learner's screen. And during a live assessment, there are configurable integrity controls, tap switch detection, webcam monitoring, and copy paste restriction. So, a low stake practice test doesn't need the same lockdown as a certification exam, but a high stakes one can have every safeguard turned on. Once submitted, scoring happens automatically and the platform immediately generates an AI powered performance report for both the learner and the instructor. For larger groups, assessments can be scheduled in advance and learners can be bulk enrolled into a specific campaign in one step instead of one at a time. And if something needs to be called off, staff can cancel a campaign anytime before it reaches a completed state. Now, alongside standard campaigns, there are dedicated flow for coding specific assessments. Pulling directly from coding questions bank we looked at earlier, instead of a multiple choice format bolted into a coding topic, learners taking a coding campaign get an actual in browser code editor. So you are testing whether someone can genuinely write and run working code, not just recognize the right answer among four options. This matters whether you are running a technical course, evaluating a bootcamp cohort, or screening candidates for a hiring pipeline. Just like a standard campaign, a coding campaign has its own results, dashboards afterward, purpose built for reviewing code submissions rather than forcing coding results into a generic report format. So here you can fill out these details, you can choose and create coding campaign. Once a campaign is actually live, staff aren't just waiting for it to end. There is live monitoring where instructors and administrators, there is live monitoring, yes. So, where the instructors and the administrators can watch an assessment in progress in real time, seeing exactly who's active and their current status. If someone unexpectedly drops off or an integrity flag gets triggered, staff see it as it happens rather. So if I choose the campaign one. So over here, you can see a student with the 70% score. You can also view the report with the weakness, with the strengths and areas to improve, with the questions with wrong answers and correct answers. So, as I mentioned, staff see it as it happens rather than discovering it after the fact when reviewing results. Now, and this brings back to where we started, the overview dashboard. Now that you have seen how every module feeds into it, this view makes a lot more sense now, like total learners, completion rate, average score. With a breakdown, you can filter by specific campaign as well, like the coding one and the multiple choice one. There's also skill gap analytics available alongside this, which aggregates students across learners and assessments to surface patterns, like a significant portion of a group consistently underperforming on a specific topic, the kind of insight that's nearly impossible to catch manually across hundreds of individual results, but becomes obvious once it's aggregated here. Whether you are tracking academic performance, training completion, or skill readiness for a role, this is where the activity across the whole platform turns into something you can actually act on. This is the skill analysis. Now, if you go back, one student that's evaluated, the average score is 70%. It was the aptitude test. The subtopic was profit and loss. What is the average? Who are the students? You can all see that in the live monitoring as well. That covers the full administrative and instructor side. Now let's switch over and look at the exact same platform from a learner's perspective. This is the learner portal and it starts here. Join campaign. Remember the secure access I mentioned earlier from the admin side? This is exactly where that plays out. A learner enters the campaign ID and the access code provided by their organization and clicks verify. You'll notice a data sharing consent step right here. Learners see clearly what's being shared with the organization, assessment scores, category wise skill analysis, and readiness levels. This transparency matters. People aren't being tracked silently, they are explicitly told what data is shared and why before they ever begin. Once a learner has joined one or more campaigns, My Assessments is their home base. Every assessment they have been assigned, upcoming, in progress, or completed along with their results and AI generated performance feedback once a campaign is scored. It's the learner facing mirror of the results dashboard we saw from the admin side, except here it's personal, just their own activity. So, here, when a student clicks view report, he can actually see his report. Coming to the coding tab, where learners access anything built on the coding assessment engine, both graded coding campaigns they have been assigned and self-paced practice questions pulled from the same coding question bank we looked at earlier. So someone preparing for a graded coding assessment can rehearse here first with a real code editor. So if I select over here, now you can see the real code editor. No graded attached, purely to build confidence before the real thing within their own language. A student can choose the language, run, and see the results. From the learner side, live classrooms is where they join the session their instructor schedules. For example, this. The same session we ran live earlier from the admin view. If someone misses a live class, this is also where they would go back and access the recording, view recordings, and access the study materials as well. So as you have seen, the teacher has uploaded the document one, and the student can see over here. So a scheduling conflict or absence doesn't mean falling behind. Now we move beyond the learning itself into career readiness, starting with profile. This is where the guided in platform resume builder lives. It walks learners through creating and editing a professional resume directly inside the platform without needing a separate tool or template. In the resume builder, you can see there are numerous and various templates a student can choose, fill details, check the ATS score, and download it. A student can fill out the details and build the resume, as well as they can upload the resume and they can download it. This is particularly relevant for colleges and coaching centers preparing learners for the job market. A resume has to be on file here before someone can apply to anything on the job board, which is exactly what we look at next. The job section. Once a resume is on file, learners can browse, opening, and apply directly within the platform. Here's the important part: your organization doesn't have to source or maintain these listings. Job postings are sourced and curated centrally by the VLearnio team and shared across all partner organizations. That means your learners get access to a job pool far broader than what any single institution, center, or company could realistically build on its own. So, here you can see the multiple job offers. You can click on view and see the description, check the ATS fit with the your resume with the student can see and apply on it. It is showing the India as well as the international jobs opportunities. You can go on my applications as well and see if it matches with your resume or not. So that's the full picture from both sides. So the admin and instructor side, staff and learner setup, live classrooms, question banks, campaign creation, live monitoring and analytics all connected. And on the learner side, joining a campaign, tracking assessments, practicing and taking coding tests, attending live classes, building a resume and applying to jobs, all in the same platform, all built on the same underlying data. So one more thing. You have this help tour to navigate you through all the steps within the dashboards and within the pages. So if you're confused in one section or a module, you can just click on that and see how to follow the steps. Also, you have this chat section over here, so you don't have to go on different sites to make groups and talk with the students or the instructors. You can message them with this. If I open a class demo, you can audio call or video call as well. Whether you are running a college, a school, a coaching center, a corporate training program, or teaching independently at scale, VLearnio is built to be the one place where all of that comes together. If you would like to go deeper into any specific module or you are ready to get started, please reach out to your VLearnio account contacts. So, when you will be logging, click on learn more, and here you can see the contact. You can contact and send us a message. So this is all about We Learn Your Organization dashboard. Thanks for watching.